So, Shawn, tell me about the Food Distribution Network and what it's all about, what you're hoping to accomplish.
Well, we received a grant from the USDA to basically build out an aggregation hub, a food aggregation hub here in Sacramento. And if successful, it can be replicated around the region, not necessarily by us, but by partnering groups. And the idea is pretty simple. Right now, we have very little local food from our region flowing in for local consumption. And our idea is based on our examination of the current system, and in talking with local distributors and in talking with local hospitals and talking with other folks that are doing food access work, is that we're missing a primary component, and that simply is the ability to aggregate and source from local producers. So if I was a distributor, I simply do not have the capacity to go out and talk to all these different growers. I have to get it from one big source. Well, the aggregation hub fills that niche. And so we'll go out and procure from small, mid-scale, and large local producers, bring it into a facility, repack it, aggregate it, and send it off to some institutional markets, farm stands, corner stores, things of that nature. In the short run, it really is just an aggregation mechanism where product that we pack will be picked up by existing distributors and moved for us within the price points that we need to fill. But every box has source identity, and that's really, we have a better ability to control what food is coming into our community. We have a better ability to support our local industry, our local agriculture industry, our local food industry. So a box would have, a buy fresh, buy local label on it. It would have a farmer's stamp that say which farm it came from and where that farm was from, Sacramento or Yolo, and then that would go into places like Sac City Unified School District, and would go into small farm stands that serve individual resident communities. And over time, the idea would be that the facility would bring in some other complementary activities. So we're interested in food box programs that it could serve. We're interested in gleaning programs that right now we work with Sacramento Food Bank and Family Services on a program called Harvest Sacramento, where we glean local fruit from around the community. That food could be brought into that facility, repacked and distributed to low-income community members. And other things like youth job incubatorship. We'll be definitely having to sort through some of the more technical issues. This 2010 year will bring food. We will be aggregating food and redistributing it. But the primary business plan for a lot of the other activities is really meant to be addressed and planned in 2010.
So how would this help with food access in places like South Sacramento?
Well, one of the primary challenges, and this is something that we dealt with directly as a farm, Soborn, is that if I wanted to get food right now, I can either grow it myself, which we have the unique capacity to do, but for a lot of our outlets, we actually have to get food from other growers. And so my only option, if I would be to call up a produce company, for example, like a General Produce or something, and say, hey, I need 5 boxes of tomatoes, or I need 5 boxes of lettuce, or something like that. And I would have no ability to know where that food came from. I'd have no ability to know how far it traveled to get to this, to my customers' plates. I have no ability to really, evaluate the quality and freshness, nutritious, nature of that food. So what we've done in the past is we've gone out and procured directly from these growers at tremendous cost and expense, and we've helped other people to do that as well. So the aggregation hub allows us to pick up the phone and get it from these growers without all of us doing it separately. So it saves us time and money, and it gives us this, ability to really manage the quality of that food.
But with the well-known lack of grocery stores and even farm stands, farmers markets in South Sacramento, even beyond the local nature of this, is this a way to just expand the availability of fresh food in communities like that?
It's meant to do several things. In the bigger picture, the food hub is meant to improve health, overall health for a broad constituency of residents, low income to high income. But for the underserved communities in specifically, what the Food Hub does is, one, it gives us the ability to source local, and then it creates momentum around kind of incubator mechanisms to get that food into the community. So, folks that will be affiliated with this will be doing new farm stands. Farmers markets can develop as a result of this. Corner stores, food box programs, they can all source from this facility, and will provide, through our partnerships, expertise on how to do that, how to create those mechanisms to move the product out of that facility and into those target demographics. These things just don't exist right now. We're all operating without a fundamental tool, and that is the tool to source that local product, where we can be ensured that it's really good quality food. And I think in the bigger picture, this isn't something that's going to happen over a year. This is a 20-year process where we can begin to shift the food that we have the ability to grow in this region, that typically has gone out. We can shift it to have it come back in, and ultimately, people living in the Sacramento region will more than not be getting food from places where they know it's coming from, and they know the quality of that food. That will be their preference, and they will be able to do it in an affordable manner, an equitable manner.
Right. Good. Perfect.